day the Kenyans will never forget for many, many years to come. Now, before we get to my next guest, let me read a couple of tweets from you out there regarding my last guest, Joseph Mathenga. There's one here. Ivy Blessed Musimi, you say, please tell Joseph he's such an inspiration and a blessing. We are standing with him in kind. Thank you so much, Ivy. Mohammed Jr., you say, Joseph Mathenga, photojournalist, excellent, good man. Nerdy, you say, that guy is a hero. Congrats to him and may God bless the work of his hands. Here's another one further down. If we could raise so much money via Safaricom, let's help this Westgate hero with his son's medical bill. That's from Medley Kenya. Please keep the tweets coming, folks. Well, here's one more. Alan Wanjohi, you say, Jeff, can you talk with your friend Bob Collymore and put up an account to raise funds for Joseph Mathenga's son? Bob, are you listening? Moving right along. Two gentlemen right next to me, 43-year-old Harish Rabadia, 38-year-old Abdul Haji. They were just around the corner, literally. They came to help. They didn't even know each other. Now, it seems they are lifelong friends because inside there, what they saw, what they did, can't even be recorded. It's just going to remain in their minds for the rest of their lives. Gentlemen, Harish, welcome to the show. Good to see you, Abdul.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well done. So, you first. What time did you hear the call?
I was called by one of my twin brother, but not one mom, not one dad, but we are always together, by Vinay Sawani. Something to do around noon.
Around noon. So literally shortly after it happened.
Yep.
What did he say? Bank robbery or what did he say?
He said there are gunshots and he thinks Nakumat is being robbed. So like the place where I was and I had to be brought, I had to come here, took me about 2 minutes.
What did you see?
When I came, I could just hear gunshots. I did not see anything. I found some cars shuttered, so it was like just a normal robbery or something. Then I brought myself forward. The time of coming, I found a lot of cars shuttered. There were some people around there. There was a lady I saw coming up from down, running, shot on the left-hand side with a small infant around 10, 11 months, I think. Young one. I could not see the face, but the baby was covered. So I tried to help her, took her on the side, gave her to my colleague Vinay. He was taking her for medicals and all that. Then I came around here. I saw some people were lying behind me. Yeah. Some live, some dead. The lives ones, we removed them, took them on the side of the pavement, and whoever was coming in, like we were just giving them and taking them in the car to the nearest hospital.
Now you're walking around with your gun in your hand.
Gun in the hand.
But how do people know who you are?
Well, you see, that time we were not thinking, we were just behind after the lives of people who were shot. Because the time we came, like the officers who I was with, somebody by the name of Kimeu, we know each other because we have been in a lot of things we have been done secretly together.
And the reason I'm asking that question, Harish, is when you saw Abdul, when you saw Haji coming through with his gun.
No, I did not see him with his gun.
Oh, okay.
He was like walking in desperately.
Right.
You see? I just saw his firearm on the side and I told him to identify himself.
Because you didn't know who he was?
No.
And Abdul, did you know who he was?
No, I didn't know who he was, so I kept asking him, why asking me to identify myself? so he gets very agitated and he goes like, listen, you have to identify yourself or something bad will happen to you. So I go like, okay. I show him my identity card.
So you both, do you decide to go in together?
Like he was in front, walking in front of me. I was behind him. So we are coming here. Now from here is when we are starting to help everybody. Me and him. I think by that time he got the call, the brother was okay, I think.
So he was inside.
He was
still the brother inside.
Yeah, he had his brother inside. So we sorted here back behind us. Now we are climbing the ramp.
The ramp, yeah.
As we are going on the ramp, we found some more officers who had come in. So like me, him and other guys who were armed, civilian armed guys, we were backing them up so that they could remove hostages, the live ones first. And some who are dead, we just like the ones we saw bleeding, some who are like, you can't even explain how it was. So we tried to remove as many as we could. From there, we climbed ourselves up to the main backing.
Was there any shooting going on at this time?
Yep.
There's a shot of you, Haji, the iconic shot, if you will, there's you urging a young girl to come towards you. Was that outside Nakumat?
That was on the ground floor, right here. We were actually on this. How we came down from the top, we made our way down, and then when we reached the ground floor, as soon as we were 5 of us. As soon as the 5th guy got down the staircase, these guys opened fire. They started shooting at us, and they shot one of our colleagues right in the stomach.
Did he survive?
Yeah.
He survived. He's in the hospital and he was recovering well. So when we knew the terrorists were in the Nakumat, we decided to go through the blind side. And as we were coming through the blind side is when we saw this lady hiding behind a table. And immediately, I communicated to Harish and the other guys. I told them, listen, we have to get those people out because they're right in the crossfire.
Crossfire, yeah. So she was with her mother?
She was with,
an adult.
There was an Asian lady, and I think she's Kenyan Indian, we still don't know who she is. And then there was the mother and 3 daughters. So when we told the lady to run towards us, she told us she couldn't run towards us because she has 3 babies with her. So we thought it was just the one lady and 3 babies because we couldn't see the other people hiding. But when the girl...
What they had done, they had taken the refuge under the table.
Yeah.
Right.
So the people on the top could only see the heads.
Yeah.
Like there is somebody I rescued from this ice cream parlor just underneath. They removed the ice cream and got underneath the fridge. It is not their fault. In fact, even I had not seen something like this.
Sure.
I've only suggested these things in movies.
Sure. But the amazing thing is none of us would have known you guys were doing all of this if it wasn't for my previous guest.
Yeah.
It was Joseph Mathenge and his son Jeff who was snapping away, taking these pictures. We saw yours, that's what we saw.
In fact, that is what I was telling you. I think when we came out, like after the operation and all that was over and all that, some friend of ours came and told us, there is a father and a son who's taken the whole video of you guys. In fact, that is when I was watching the interview and all that, I told him, Abdul, we'll have to talk to the guy so that he gives us the clip, you see.
Did you guys make it to the top? Because they said the terrorists were on the 3rd floor or top floor.
When we got in, they were on the ground floor. So what we did was we had to use some tear gas canisters to push them back in Nakumat. So I think this helped and it pushed them in. And then they made their way up to the 1st floor. And that's where they engaged some officers on the 1st floor.
Yeah.
And then literally when KDF came in, we decided to leave it to the professionals. We made our way back up to the parking area upstairs, the top floor, and we kept helping the Red Cross people.
But in the meantime, Harish, you actually engaged one of the terrorists?
Yeah. I saw him with a white turban. In fact, the time he shot an officer on the stomach. The rest of the bullets all, like you see, then shattered all the glass. I was just next to the show of this where they put the cakes and all that, standing and covering myself from there. The bullets had passed, then I heard the sound. That is the time my officer crying. So what we did was to rush there, pick him out and get him out fast.
Yeah.
So we took him out from the west gate back. We moved completely, and then these guys of Red Cross, we handed it over to them. They went with him. We brought in more officers. We brought in more tear gases. Now we started engaging with them. So it was like, we could not face them clearly because there were big screens, all that. But when you could see the space, you could see them moving up and down, like on the left or right.
My goodness. In all your years being, whatever you call yourselves, civilian, what do you call yourselves? Civilians with guns.
Ordinary Kenyans.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Never.
In a movie, yeah.
Yeah, in a movie.
In a movie, yeah. But not live.
Live.
Never. It was like a war zone. It's something that I think most of us who were there would never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
The number of people
and we don't pray to see it again.
No. No.
Yeah. The number of people who were killed, the number of people who were maimed, the number of people who were injured, the number of people who we saw, bleeding, and they were just helpless until we got there. It was just horrific. Yeah.
My goodness. How long were you in this building?
I came out, I think at around, I was in and off. I reached home at around 2:30 in the morning.
2:30.
Yeah, then that had to be brought because people are calling my family, giving them stories that have been shot. There was one occasion that I have gone inside, I have not come out. And you know, like all, so
Yeah.
there were means, like my mobile was dead by I think 7:30.
But Haji, there's some people who say that the siege here had ended that same night.
We're hearing a lot of things, Jeff, and like most Kenyans, we're waiting for the answers. And I think there are a lot of answers that need to be answered.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of questions that need to be answered.
A lot on there.
A lot. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, most of the things are rumors until they're confirmed.
Sure.
They're true.
Yeah, but okay, something that's not a rumor is the looting. The looting that took part in this place. I mean, it's not only embarrassing, it's tragic.
Well, that one, to be sincerely open, neither he or I can comment, because the way we left it, the way it was intact and all that, after that what happened when the government, the KDF guys, the army guys who took over and all that, like as you can see, there was a lot of dismantling in it, the way the Nokumat got burned and all that. Now the looting and all that now is the owners of the shop and them themselves they can tell us.
Yeah.
We cannot express ourselves in those things.
Sure. Okay, Haji, at some point during this whole siege, did you think you were going to die? Did that cross your mind?
To tell you the truth, it didn't cross my mind, because I think the only thing I was thinking about throughout the whole ordeal was to stay safe, to stay alive, and the adrenaline was driving us. Yeah, that was
in
about
fact,
it.
in our, like the way him, plus the other officers who we were with, we had made a motion. We left some people behind. They have to remove the hostages, the people who are injured and all that. The 5-6 people that we entered, either we get killed or we kill them. That was what our mission was. Because we saw live people, we saw young children. You know, that time we were not even thinking of our families behind, but we were thinking, if I have 3 kids myself, I don't know how much he has got. I will save hundreds there, which one of my daughters or my sons or whoever it is will get the blessings of them.
Sure.
That is what our intention was.
Yeah. Which leads me to my next question, Harish. Do you guys consider yourselves heroes?
Do we look like heroes?
I mean, what you guys did in the end, I've got many friends who all want to get a sidearm. They all want to apply for a gun permit. But applying for a gun permit, you have to be mentally prepared, don't you? This is not for everybody.
You have to. The thing that one is, it's like you have to be more careful with the gun than your wife. Yep. It's something that if it goes anywhere, anything happens to it, it's a small tiny thing, but it can bring down a lot of things. Like as we Kenyans, like we got it. I'm proud I got one and I used it in saving my country the time of fighting with these guys.
Yeah. How long have you had a permit? How long have you been doing this?
For last, say, 10 years.
10 years. Haji?
For long. I have been handling guns since I was a kid.
Seriously?
Yes.
So you guys are always packing?
Yeah.
Even right now as we speak?
Yep.
I wouldn't ask you to show us, but...
I can't even show you, because tomorrow you'll put me in problems.
But did you know, when you went into this place, when you got, they were saying Nakumat is being robbed, right? And then you walk in and you see the extent of devastation, the mayhem, the madness, body parts everywhere. Did you want to turn around and say, no, this is not for us, this is not for me?
No, you see, that time, the group that I'm telling you, we made a way. Like we said no, like we were getting abuses and all that, because we did not have vest, neither did we have a bulletproof, none of us, apart from one officer, and we entered with, I think, 2 AK-47s. The rest of all of us, we had the small firearms. But we were just thinking of the people which we could see live, like in some shops, like I could see heads coming out, and there was random shooting, but we never knew where it is coming from. Then we made our ways. We said, no, let's go. If we have to hit it, let's go, we hit.
Yeah.
We get them somewhere. If they have to kill us, there is no problem. I'll die for the country.
You were ready to do that?
Yes, I was ready.
Haji, you were ready to die?
Yes, because Jeff, what you have to realize is we went in as a team. We were watching each other's back, and there is no way you could just pull out.
It's unfortunate that one of the officers got shot. Yeah, that is
sure.
That is the only thing.
So, when the siege was over, or when it was time for you guys to go home, did you just want to go home and hug those 3 kids? Didn't you just want to go home and...
In fact, Jeff, to be sincerely open, like when I entered, they were all crying, including, my wife, the stone face and all that. Like she was telling me literally, did you think of our family, this, that? As usual, the way it is. But I was proud that time that she was praying, nothing happens to me with the kids. And there were a lot of other people who were praying for us.
Sure. Haji, did you?
Same, yes. As soon as I got home, I hugged my family. My mother who was there, and she was a wreck, basically. But she was really relieved to see me and my brother get back home safe.
Yeah. And the old man, what did he have to say? Did he say, Haji, you crazy, man?
The old man has nerves of steel, so
he's not used to us. He's not used to us.
At the end of the day, obviously, we'll talk about how there's so many questions and we're going to need answers. I think we're going to heal as a nation because there's so many people out there who are hurting right now. So many people who have lost loved ones, whose loved ones are still in hospital. They're going to be going for therapy for many, many months, maybe years to come. Did we learn anything? Have we learned anything from this? Or could another Westgate happen sometime down the line?
We have to believe that we, as a country, we have learned something from this. And most probably as a country, we have to dialogue about this. And the other thing is, as a community, like the community Harish comes from, we need to learn a few things from them. They're very, very organized community, and they did a great job on that day. So as a country, we have to come together, because basically what these people were doing was trying to divide the country along religious lines, along tribal lines, and we have to overcome that. And I think citizens have to be more careful to
consider themselves in coming as a group. When something like this happens, we don't say we Asians did it. We wanted people to come as one, as Kenyans as one. Like there was this people from Aga Khan group, Kachi, Lewa Patel youth, Oshwal youth. Like you could literally find guys from school coming with the water, giving it to the officers here. And those are the people who I call heroes. Like they brought their time, left their schools, and they were serving people around without any hard giving. Like there were some who I just called them. People, pickups were brought here. We put bodies, we took them. Like it was, like as if it is we are doing a sort of a family thing.
Unfortunately, it takes an event like this for a country to come together.
Unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. But moving along, we just have to make sure we don't take the security of this country for granted. As citizens, also, we have to play a role. We have to work very closely with the government, with the security agencies. Most of the times, you'll find that the citizens are the ones who have the information. So we have to provide the information so that we can be safe.
I'm going to come back to that question now. What if more Kenyans now start applying for that gun permit? What if more of them now want to keep a peace at home or close by, just in case? What would you tell them?
If the person is sane and responsible enough, I don't see why they should not be given a firearm license.
But that just in case has to be with a common thing in it. You can't just give any Tom, Dick, Harry a gun, and then you find him going somewhere doing things with it. Like we say, they do, but it is for their own self-defense or something of that, so it's okay.
But again, it's not for everybody, is it?
No. Right? It's like maybe like you have a son who will turn 21. He's got an ambition. He needs a gun. So it doesn't mean you just go get it for him. No. It needs a specific. The person really needs it for security purposes. The way they give it out, the firearms. That is the way it should continue. But they should bring a bit more tough things or rules in it.
There's definitely a vetting that goes on before you get a firearm license. And I'm sure anybody who goes through the vetting, by the end of it, they decide if you should be given one or not.
After engaging terrorists for about 10-12 hours, guys, and it's an if, this is an if, hypothetical, if some of them have escaped, if some of them have gotten away, how will that make you feel?
Jeff,
You see,
that's a scary thought. That's a scary thought.
you see,
Because-
Jeff, we pray that they did not.
Yeah.
After all that we had done, like there is a time when we came out, somebody comes and tells me there are kids inside. So I talked to Vinay. Vinay, how did you leave these guys? How did you? Vinay is telling me, no, there is nobody. He made sure he was with the group that he was. He was with, in fact, the deputy PPO, I think, Mr. Omati. Yeah, he was, in fact, even I think the deputy PPO himself, was not with the West.
Yeah.
Like, there were people who had the courage. There were people with civilian firearms who had the courage to come in and fight with them. That they brought themselves in. It was like a teamwork.
Yeah. Will you feel disappointed, Haji?
I would be very, very disappointed. I mean, basically, the day I would hear it's confirmed that the terrorists made it out, I think my heart will just sink. I will get a sick feeling because for me and Harish, basically, we've just painted a very big red paint on us.
Yeah.
We would be a target. We were, myself personally, my family was already a target before this, and like I was saying before, we have to be responsible citizens. And Jeff, yourself, you've been a journalist for a long time. I think also journalists have to be more responsible because my family was painted red by the same very media house you're working for.
Is that right?
Yes.
And you agreed to come on?
And I agreed to come on.
I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it. But you're right. At the end of the day, it's all about responsibility.
Responsibility.
Yes.
People, even if it's journalists have to take responsibility.
Sure.
Exactly.
Guys, I don't care what you call yourselves. I'm going to call you heroes. That's what you are to me. Harish, Rabadia,
Thank you, sir.
stay safe, my brother.
We will.
And God forbid, I hope we're not going to have a scene like this again.
We pray for the same.
Abdul Haji,
Thank you, sir.
you guys are real heroes. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Real heroes, any way you look at it, unlikely if you will, but they stepped out, got into this building under heavy fire, and rescued a whole bunch of people. I'm sure a lot of grateful people out there who'd like to say thank you to you folks, and we do too. We do too.
To the people who
lost families.
the families who have lost.
Absolutely.
Good recovery and quick well recovery to those who are injured. We pray for them even.
Let's stay together as a nation.
Yeah, stay as one as a nation.
Amen to that. Coming up on Jeff Koinange Live, some analysis going forward. Should heads roll? Should some people be fired? What will a commission of inquiry achieve? Stay with us. We are live at the Westgate Shopping Complex, and this is Jeff Koinange Live. Back in a moment.